Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be sharing a story with you.
Our movie begins with Yun Shik watching naughty things on his computer with two friends in a hostel room. Just then, one of his friends accidentally steps on this rat's tail and starts screaming. They all quickly try to find this thing, and Yun Shik soon catches it. Holding the rat by its tail, he's jokingly telling his friends he's gonna eat it. But suddenly, one of their hallmates opens the room's door, accidentally hitting Yun Shik, causing the rat to fall into his mouth. Well, that disgusts his friends, and they all scream. The next day at lunch, Yun Shik goes to sit with his friends at the college cafeteria, but they all avoid him and walk away from the table after seeing that disgusting accident yesterday. Just then, the college's most popular girl, Jiwon, arrives and walks to the table, where a girl named Yun Hyo is seated. She tells her and her friends not to use the gym later because she needs it and leaves. After she does, Yun Hyo and her friends start gossiping about her. Meanwhile, a naughty Yun Shik can be seen staring at Yun Hyo's legs, and not long she catches him in that act. So in order to teach him a lesson, she opens her legs apart and makes him embarrassed. Outside the cafeteria, she and her friends make fun of Yun Shik before leaving. As the girls walk away, Yun Shik meets up with his friends and asks about this girl. They tell him that she's one of the popular girls in school, who does aerobics and is about to perform for the national team. Just then, Yun Shik burps, making his friends uncomfortable, and they leave. Now later that night at the hostel, Yun Shik's friends decide to place some rat poison in a sandwich in order to solve that rat infestation. During this time, Yun Shik and some other friends walk across the hall, catching Yun Hyo dancing. Yun Shik immediately gets mesmerized by her beauty and grace. He then heads back to his room and sees his good friends gambling. Just then, he notices the sandwich on the floor and goes to eat it, but when his friends see it, they try to stop him. But Yun Shik thinks that his friends want to steal his sandwich, so he runs away. They all soon begin a chase, and eventually they catch up with Yun Shik and quickly take him to the hospital. Elsewhere on a train, while Yun Hyo is going home with her friends, they talk about Yun Shik's recent rat poisoning incident. All of a sudden, Yun Hyo feels someone touching her. However, she's too stunned to do anything. At this moment, the father of the perverted boy sees what he's doing, and he takes him away. Just then, Yun Shik enters the train and ends up replacing the perverted boy's position. When Yun Hyo finally gathers the courage to confront her molester, she turns around and assumes Yun Shik was the one touching her and kicks him. Yun Shik ends up in the hospital again, and when she learns that he was innocent, she ends up visiting him to apologize. So feeling all bad, she tells him that he can ask her for any favor as an apology. Yun Shik immediately takes that opportunity, asking her if him and his friends can train on their martial arts in her gym, because they have this competition coming up. Yun Hyo agrees and takes him to the gym. She hands over the keys to Yun Shik and leaves. Yun Shik quickly runs out and thanks her for helping him. Now the next morning, Yun Hyo's coach is scolding the girls for failing to invite a single boy to their aerobics class because each curricular activity needs a good ratio of male and female. So Yun Hyo decides to invite Yun Shik and his friends to it. In the class, Yun Shik and his friends start practicing with the girls. However, boys being boys, they continuously stare at Jiwon as she stretches. When Jiwon notices him, she calls Yun Shik to help her out. While he does so, Yun Hyo happens to enter the room and gets upset at Yun Shik for getting close to her rival. At night, they all go to a club, where Yun Shik tries to get close to Yun Hyo by dancing near her. Suddenly, Yun Hyo catches Sang-gak, Jiwon's boyfriend, staring at her. He ends up joining the group and the two begin to get close to one another. Now when they're alone, Sang-gak tells her that he and Jiwon had broken up and asks her out. Yun Hyo agrees, leaving a heartbroken Yun Shik alone at the club, while she goes out with Sang-gak instead. So the next day, Yun Hyo and Yun Shik are practicing together in the gym alone. This is when Jiwon walks in and slaps Yun Hyo hard. She accuses her of stealing her man and curses her parents. Unable to take this anymore, Yun Hyo slaps her back, making the situation pretty awkward for Yun Shik. Jiwon then leaves. Seeing Yun Hyo upset, Yun Shik tries to make her laugh by holding his breath underwater. However, while he's busy with that stunt, Sang-gak walks in and hugs Yun Hyo, making up with her. This breaks our boy's heart once again, seeing the couple together. Now during their school dance, Yun Shik sees his crush getting closer with Sang-gak. This once again breaks his heart, so he leaves the event early and heads back to his room. Later, Sang-gak takes Yun Hyo to his friend's room, who's away for the day. They soon begin, with each other, but turns out Yun Shik is in the next room and gets excited hearing their voices. So after all that fun, Sang-gak leaves Yun Hyo in the room and tells her that he'll be back soon. Sang-gak goes to meet Jiwon and tells her that he loves Yun Hyo and tells her to stop bothering him. Hearing this, Jaewon gets upset. So back at the hostel while waiting for Sang-gak to come back into the room, Yeon-ho starts feeling thirsty. So she goes to find a drink in the fridge but doesn't find anything. So she goes to the dispenser to fill her bottle. However, when she gets back, her door is locked. Soon she hears the campus guard approaching. Because girls aren't allowed in the male hostel, she quickly goes into whatever unlocked door she could find and ends up in Yoon-shik's room. Unfortunately, she catches Yoon-shik making himself happy with his computer, and this causes him to be embarrassed. Now the following days, Yeon-ho goes on vacation with Sang-gak, and the two spend more time together. Meanwhile, our boy continues practicing for his martial arts competition with full concentration to distract him from his broken heart. When Yeon-ho gets back, her friends start talking about her birthday and how she plans to celebrate it. Elsewhere, Yoon-shik goes to a jewelry shop hoping to get this expensive diamond ring that Yeon-ho really liked from earlier for her birthday. However, after noticing that price, he returns to the hostel disappointed without the ring. He then asks his friends to brainstorm ways that he can make some fast cash in a week. So his friends take him to a strip club and tell him they earn a lot of money dancing for sugar mamas. The next day, Yeon-ho finds out that she's pregnant, so at night she meets up with Sang-gak to tell him about it. But that makes him pretty mad, because he thought she was on birth control. So later, he meets with his friends to seek their advice, where they tell him that he should give her some money and tell her to get rid of the baby. So all stressed out, Sang-gak returns to Jaewon and gets pretty freaky with her. Now the next morning, Yeon-ho sees a doctor to abort that baby, but he tells her that he's unable to without the consent from a guardian. She then goes to meet with Sang-gak and tells him about her doctor's appointment the next day and asks him to come. But he takes out his credit card and hands it over to her instead, telling her that she doesn't need him there. This causes her to get all angry, so she throws that card at him and bounces. To distract herself, she goes to the mall, where she finds that the diamond ring she liked had been sold away. So she returns to the school gym disappointed. But just then, she finds that her friends have planned a surprise birthday party for her. Seeing all this, she gets emotional. But suddenly, Yoon-shik throws a cake in her face and starts laughing. He then takes out the diamond ring and shows it to her. However, she doesn't notice the ring and slaps him, causing him to fall. Upset about how that night turned out, he goes to drink his sorrows away and gets drunk. However, the next morning, he gets woken up by Yeon-ho's call. She's asking him what he's doing today, so he assumes that she's asking him out on a date. He excitedly agrees to meet her and gets ready for that date. While fixing his hair all nice, he finds out he ran out of gel, so instead he uses some strawberry jam. Later on, when he meets up with her, he finds out that she's pregnant and is getting an abortion. The doctor assumes that he's Yeon-ho's guardian and allows her to have the operation. The nurse then calls out her name and she goes in for the abortion. Our boy assures her that he'll be right outside waiting. After the procedure, she gets sent to her room to heal. Seeing her all in pain, he tries to hold her hand to comfort her, but that sweet hair of his attracts all the flies, stopping him from doing so. After getting rid of those flies, he breaks down crying. So later on, he takes her to a hotel and tells her that he'll be back soon. He then goes to the jewelry shop and begs to return the ring back for some money. He uses that money to buy some groceries and other essential things before returning back to her. Now in the hotel room, he's cooking up soup and makes her laugh by breaking garlic with his head. He also helps her get clean. These small actions touch her, and she starts having feelings for him. So a few days later, the competition arrives, and everyone can be seen preparing backstage for it. Yoon-shik sees Sang-gak close with Jaewon, and goes to confront them, but his group gets called up to perform, so he ends up not saying anything and leaves. At the start, Yoon-shik's performance goes well, but when he and his friends get to the part where they break cement blocks on Yoon-shik's stomach with a hammer, Yoon-shik sees Yeon-ho running into the stadium. This causes him to get up and get hit by the hammer. He faints and quickly gets taken away by his friends. Soon our boy regains consciousness and finds her performing and gets mesmerized by her. But then he gets dragged away by the staff because he hasn't fully recovered from his injury. After her performance, he's looking for her everywhere, but doesn't find her. He's asking her friends about her, and they tell him that she's in the restroom. So quickly he goes there to check on her, but finds her in pain. She soon faints, and a worried Yoon-shik quickly carries her to the hospital. Back at the competition, Jaewon is announced as the winner on stage, and Sang-gak cheers for her. Now at the hospital, her mother finally finds out about this abortion and starts beating her for being an unfilial child. Just then, Yoon-shik enters the room and tries to stop her mother, but she immediately thinks that he's the one who took advantage of her daughter and starts attacking him too. Later that night, an angry Yoon-shik goes to find Sang-gak, where he finds him celebrating with Jaewon and everyone else. He starts attacking him and tells him that love isn't a joke and that his one-time enjoyment had ruined Yoon-ho's life. He then takes him to Yoon-ho and leaves crying. feeling sad for reuniting them back together. But to his surprise, Yun-Yo comes to his room the next day. Just then, the socket in his room sparks a fire, causing the room to fill up with smoke. But Yun-Shik thinks it's just his monthly rat extermination and tells Yun-Yo not to worry about the smoke. She then confesses her feelings for him, causing him to get emotional. They finally hug and get together. But just then, the fire in the room gets really big, and the movie ends with both of them jumping out the window with a couple rings on their fingers. Once again, glad to have you here. Thank you so much for watching.